Hello everybody, it is Christine. It's time for a scrapbook process video, and this is not a hop or anything. I am actually just trying to straighten my desk up, and I had this cut file sitting here that Tara at the Paper Snob had given me. I forgot why she cut it. I think she's doing like a cruise album, and she had given me this because she knew we were going on a cruise. So I have this cut file, and then I had some ephemera land. I say ephemera. This is some stuff from the cruise we just had on there. I covered this up because there's account numbers and stuff, and I don't know if they're reusable. So, sorry, it's not going on the internet. I'll take it off when it goes in the album. But anyway, a couple of cards, and then these are like room keys or whatever. Or they call them like sale passes or something. And then I did print a couple of photos from our cruise. Then I went looking, and I had this. I'm going to be brutally honest. I don't know what the maker is. It's quite old. It's really, really thin paper. I had a cruise collection. I haven't a clue what I did with it. I really don't know. I know exactly where it was, and then I've reorganized a bit, and now I don't know what my brain thought it needed to be. Who knows? But this I found. It was in my summer stuff, and I thought, well, I can use this. And there's even like a little palm tree paper, and there's some suns and different things. So I'm going to try to make this work. And then I did go get in my stash and got just a piece of cardstock because this is so thin. So we are going to do a layout. And then I did pull out some inks because I'm going to ink that little cut file. I don't think I'm going to back it. I might back the bottom. Well, maybe I'll back the boat too. Maybe I'll back the bottom with blue, this thin blue paper, actually, now that I say that. So I've got my little handled ink things here to go with my things. I've got Salty Ocean, go figure. Lucky Clover and Wild Honey. I think those are going to work. I used my little thing here. And, they're cute. So I'm going to set that up there. So I need to figure out my design. I think I actually want to bring the photos kind of vertically. I'm trying to decide. I think I may do it like this because the sky on the top and stuff. And then somehow maybe put the cards down here. I'll do something here so I can have this off to the side here. That's kind of cute. Don't know what the title's going to be. No idea. All right, well, let me do a little figure in here. There's too many pieces of paper for me to think about. Actually, that's a nice little piece. How come that's the thickest? That's so weird, you guys. That's the only double-sided piece in this whole set. Every other one is oh, no, there's a yellow, a blue and a yellow. Interesting. Maybe they meant for that to be the cardstock. It's still not thick enough, but I might use this for the water because that's a nice little, look at that. That's perfect. I'll do that. Okay, well, let me do my inking and stuff. All I'm going to do, well, I may do it on camera. Let's just see. I may use a little washi tape to mask it off so I don't booger it up. I don't want to get the blue on the boat and all that kind of stuff. So I will do that. I will figure out what else I'm going to do after that. So give me just a second and we'll be back. Well, believe it or not, this layout turned out actually kind of simple, although I think I overcomplicated things. So the first thing I did is I did use a little bit of washi tape. I might have mentioned that even, to make sure that I did not get the ink where I didn't want it. And so I used the blue first. I do realize, by the way, that the little palm tree trunks, I needed brown. So when I cut off the camera, I'll run and get, it's vintage photo is what I'll use on the little tree trunks. Although I can't say that looks just that much different than the yellow. I probably didn't put quite enough on there, but on the other hand, I was kind of working in a tight spot by that point. So I'm going to do my blue here, and then I will do I think I'll do the green next, actually. And then lastly, I'll do yellow. I do yellow on the boat and like the sun area up there. And then I'll do the brown trees. And I even go ahead, and because this is Distress Oxide and it reacts with the water, I'm going to do water sprinkles as well. And this takes me just a minute. I might should have cut some of this out if I'm honest. But again, this layout, really most of the work was spent coloring this darn thing and then cutting out the little papers to go behind it. And I did manage to booger up the first blue that I cut. So if you're watching me close enough, I don't know where I went wrong exactly, except I think it was a little too short or something. I don't know exactly how I did it. But I ended up having to cut a second one. But you guys, I'm not going to lie. This paper is so thin. I don't care that I had to waste some. I will be lucky. I might pick this out again and, some future layout where I have to have a water paper or a blue, fishy paper or something, possibly. But am I going to go, reaching for this on purpose no, it's not going to be something I reach for all the time. I don't even know where I got that. I feel like it was a gift from somebody that was purging their craft room. sometimes I do take things where people are being sweet and they're giving me things from their craft room, and I already know I'm a paper, I'm going to use Tara's channel here, paper snob at this point. I like thick paper. I like, high quality stuff. Your 49 and markets and your high quality stuff. And so the really thin ones that are one-sided, they're not my thing. That's the stuff I used in the very beginning. So I struggle to use it. Although sometimes the patterns are really cute. Like this one, the patterns are pretty cute. The little palm trees and the little fishies and stuff. It's the texture. And I think, for me anymore, it's texture. So it's just hard to use these sometimes. I did have to put it on cardstock because it's just going to be too floppy, So you can see that I've been doing the colors here. I've got the green. They're not perfect, and I don't really care that they're not perfect. I mean, I've seen some, like instead of these brushes, you could use like little sponges and stuff, and I have a few, but I don't mind it. This is not hurting my feelings one bit. So I did take my little water bottle here, and I sprinkled water. I didn't spray, I sprinkled it. I will say it shows up best on the green. I don't know why that is. It didn't really show up too much on the blue. It shows up best on the green, and I enjoy that. I think it looks really pretty. So it's kind of on purpose, like, different shades and things like that. And I think that's kind of pretty. So here's my blue cardstock. I do have to cut that down by 1/4 inch. I don't know that I've done it yet. I will in a minute. And then I go ahead and use another piece of this real thin paper. It's a little star one. It's a star sun. It's a sun paper here, and it's going to go behind my blue. I think I'm looking at it here. No, I guess I'm going to look at this first. So I will use the blue wavy paper. I'm going to be honest, I can't even tell that it has those waves on it after I got it behind here. I do something I probably shouldn't have done. I don't mind the trace and cut way to fill these cut files in, but I should have flipped this thing over because I do get a little bit in pen ink on one spot. Can't really see it now. I almost had to go looking for it just a second ago when I mentioned it. But I should have flipped it over. And actually, when I redo this, I do. So I'll cut this out. And I think I'll leave it on camera here where you can kind of see me fasten with it to try to get it behind the water. And I don't know. It was too short or something. I think I cut one level too low on the water waves or something like that. I could have left it unfilled for sure. Although the boat, I'm kind of pleased I did cover that in. I'll put white behind the boat. But here I'm going to mess with this. And it just, I don't know what it was about it. I couldn't get it squared up. So I think actually, like I said, I'll turn the camera off in just a second because it does take me a minute. And I do have to recut it because I think I cut it too short or something. It wasn't working. And so at the second time, I flip it over and do it in reverse and then cut it. And then it fits perfectly fine. So I must have just, I don't know, messed it up some kind of way. No big deal. It's really thin paper. So just my advice is to flip it over and do it backwards if you're going to do this method. And I'll do the boat the same way. I'm going to flip it over. And so now I've got my little papers filled in. On my little cut file, I've trimmed down my blue cardstock, and it's going to go on my little sun paper. You can't really see the suns, but the yellow is what I was really looking for anyways. And I've got these two pieces here. I'm going to cut these, and you guys are so thin. I glue the blue one on top of the yellow one, which is fine, except I didn't go over to the left far enough because I want my little cut file to be on the blue cardstock. And I cut it over, I put it a little too far to the right, and so it was kind of going onto and I didn't really want that. And I go to try to pick up the paper, and y'all, it is so thin, it's like tearing. However, I did get a really nice texture out of it because it kind of wrinkled it and stuff. And I go, well, that's okay. That kind of looks neat, so I'm not going to worry about it. It looks cute. Like I said, it's all glued together now, and you can't tell by looking that it's real thin paper or anything like that, and I think it turned out cute. I did have to trim down these vertical pieces by, I guess, 1/4 inch, I guess it was. Here's me messing with it. I actually have it right here, and I'm sizing things up. I'm going to put my photos on there. And I thought at first to kind of overlap them on the left, and then I decided against it. But my issue was I wanted my palm tree on the right to not hang off the side. You can see that's hanging off the side. I got to pay attention to that. And the palm tree on the left, I wanted to kind of go into the photo, but I didn't want it covering up, anything important. So that looks pretty good. And then I turn around and I glue the papers down. And that blue paper and all that stuff's too far to the right, so I'll have to adjust it. Now, I have fixed it, so you didn't see all that mess, y'all. That stuff was off camera. That was me struggling off camera. But I got it all down. And then I did go into my stash, and I did find a few little things. I didn't even use 2 of them. But I found this little piece here. It said, "Blessed are the curious, for they shall have adventures." There's actually a little boat anchor on there. I'm going to tuck that in that little palm tree leaf thing there. I need to glue this down. I will put a few little foam pieces up under some of the palm leaves in the very top of the boat. So I'll give it a little bit of dimension. And then I did go into my stash also in my letters and whatnot, and I found a font from HipKit. It's a while back. It's a dark blue font, and I'm going to spell, you'll see that in just a second. I'll spell out the word cruise. And then Adventures was actually a pre-made word. I mean, it's individual letters, but it was part of a title off of like a, I don't know, a thicker set. So I'll get into that in just a second and put that over the top of my little cut file there. The chipboard there is really old. I do not remember what that collection was from. I want to say maybe an authentique, but it is so old. That's probably 10, 12 years old at least. It's, like I said, it was in my binder. I'm glad to use it, though, because it's kind of been hanging out there. And then I decided I got to be up my butt, and I wanted to go ahead and put some white Mr. Huey's down, because I thought, well, that looks kind of like ocean spray. And then I do manage to smear just a little bit. kind of hurt my feelings a little bit, because I was putting down my plastic things with my letters on it to just see where they were going to go. And I managed to smish one of them into the white paint at the bottom. It doesn't look terrible, but that didn't make me happy. So I think this looks really cute, though. I'm thinking in my head this might be like a cover page for a little mini section of an album. I do it by library of memories. I think one of the topics is places we go or something. And I do try to keep things from the same trip together. So I feel like this might be like a little mini cover page or something that kind of speaks to that trip. So the top photo, by the way, is me and my husband actually, we're waiting in line for the wave runner thing, or what was that called? It's a surfing thing. It's like on the boat, and you get on the little wave thing, and you kind of play surf. You're surfing, but you're on the boat. We're in line there, and then the bottom one was we were on the only stop we had on that cruise was in Cozumel, and you can see our boat behind us. So I thought that was a fun little photo there as well. And so this is just kind of encapsulating our entire adventure, I guess. So I'm putting down Adventure at this point. I will need to use some Nuvo glue behind Cruise because it's not quite as sticky. Adventures is fine, but the puffy foam is not quite as sticky. And after that, I did not actually do any, quote, journaling on this because, again, if I'm using it as a cover sheet, I don't really need to do a bunch of journaling because the rest of this pages will kind of tell the story, I think. But I'm actually really pleased with this, considering I was using some stash non-preferred paper. I did use up my cut file that I had on my desk here, and I did get those cards off my desk, those little sale pass things. I'm pleased with getting those off my desk. I'm sorry it looks kind of ugly with the Post-it notes. It actually looks really cute without them. So sorry you don't get to see that, but it is what it is. I can't be having all of our information out on the interwebs. Here's the little baby bits of foam that I'm putting behind my palm tree things. And again, after that, I think that's basic. Oh, I do get into some puffies though. I thought, I really need one more little thing. I couldn't let it go just 100%. After I get this foam down, I'm going to pick up, I forget what it is. I think some Vicky Bouton puffies. And I looked and there's a couple little puffy hearts. And so you'll see in just a second, I'm going to grab I guess I'm going to put this away first. I'm kind of admiring it, I'm just kind of admiring it right now. Oh, changing YouTube videos too. Let's see, where am I going to grab it? I'm looking for it. Oh, there they are. And I go, okay, what can I use off of this? And I end up with two little puffy hearts, and they go above the boat there. You'll see those in just a second. And I think I don't know why I just did that. No idea. But I'll put these two little puffy hearts. I put it up there first, and I go, that looks dumb, Christine. Put it down inside there. And so it goes inside my little cut file there, and that's it. That's so cute, isn't it? All right, well, there's my layout, you guys. I only made a little bit of a mess. So thank you so much for watching. Again, this wasn't part of a hop or anything. This was just me working on my little extras here, my little extras on my desk. So thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.